Alrighty, so let's take a break here from playing for a second. We're gonna talk about fucking metal. That's right. Let's get the camera here on this gorgeous face. So anyway, everybody knows that I'm a metalhead. We don't really focus too much on music here on this channel, but I'm feeling the metal here today. So play a little bit of guitar. I'm not that great, so I've never been in the band. It's just like a hobby. So if people are already gonna talk about that little fucking gallop in the beginning, oh, they're not that good. That's all you can do. Yeah, so anyway, we're not here to do that. That was just a little intro there. So I think that like on YouTube, it's like it's like people that play guitar. They like to pretend that they play guitar. It's like one of the most like vicious sections of the internet. So I stay away from guitar covers because like I think like people who do guitar covers like just like excellent, but there's always like some fucking obnoxious people that just want to put it down. They're studying every little thing. I think it's completely fucking ridiculous. And I think it like kind of insults people's like creativity in a way. Anyway, so we want to talk about metal, and let's be honest. Metal it scares a lot of people. There's a lot of fucking crazy things said about metal. It's the devil's music and stuff like that. And this is mostly like people who don't know a lot about metal. They don't know a single thing about it. So like if you're gonna like uh, you know, listen to metal, I wouldn't suggest like Cannibal Corpse is your first thing if you want to explore metal. There's so many different genres of metal. There's death metal, there's deathcore, there's thrash metal, there's metalcore. The it goes on and on and on. I mean, like if you're gonna ask me, well, Brad, like how do I get into metal? Like you're listening to fucking Drake and Kanye West and shit like that. It might be kind of hard for you, but if you do want to experience like metal and not be scared away. I'm serious. I think the Black Album by Metallica is probably the best bet for you. It's got a lot of variety. There's not any screaming or yelling or guttural vocals or any like super heavy riffs. There's nothing like that. There's no like Satan or sacrificial like gimmicks or anything like that. So I think you can pretty much adjust to that band quite easily. They've got a lot of different offerings. Load and reload are also like good choices if you just kind of like want to ease in with something a little bit lighter. And then who knows? I mean, maybe you just really love metal. You just never gave it a chance before. So you might just be able to say fuck Drake and Kanye and just jump ship right away to like something fucking awesome. Like you could just get into Korn right away. I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about Devil Driver first up. I think this is a great band. I'm not the biggest fan of Cold Chamber, but Des Ferrara is like probably like one of the best vocalists. So like some of these bands that I'm gonna mention is like I don't want to hear from you like, oh, I've heard of this. Okay, this is like for everybody. Like you're a metal fan or you're not a metal fan. I just are just bands that I really like, and like these are like what I'm listening to a lot on Spotify like as of late. So like right now, like these are my current favorites. These are not my favorites of all time, but these are just like these are just bands that I really like, and I get like a lot of mileage out of like listening to them. So this is not like anything like that. So, and these are also not if you're gonna like first listen to metal, you probably shouldn't listen to like any of these bands because they're all bad first choices. These are like bands like if you've been listening to metal for a long time and you're kind of sick of like everybody sounding the same and you want to like try something different or this just like this is just pretty much who I listen to mostly like nowadays a lot. And Devil Driver is like they've got a lot of good albums to select from now. And yeah, what are they, 6 or 7 albums they just released? Trust No One, I believe it's 6 at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's they just released their 6th album. But Des Ferrara's voice to me is like fucking magic. I think that he's like one of the best voices in all of metal. And you can hear that in Cold Chamber. It's just something about Cold Chamber. I didn't like their music up until Dark Days. And you could hear in Dark Days that the music substantially changed. Like with songs like Fiend. You can see like with a song like Fiend on Dark Days from Cold Chamber, how they transition into the first Devil. And that first Devil Driver album will always be my favorite. It sounds a lot different than like what they're doing now. Not totally different, but it's quite different. Um, but yeah, Trust No One is another great album. I would say, just listen to them in like, chronological order. And you could just hear like the Devil Driver is just such a strong band with a great discography. They don't have a bad album. They don't really even have a bad song. There's just a lot of creativity going on with this band. Um, and you definitely could tell though that there is a vocal pattern going on with Dez. If there's something that you will see that might be considered repetitive, does do a lot of the same vocal style. You could definitely tell, like, it's not really rhyming what he does, but it's kind of like a certain melodic pattern that he has to his voice, and it's one that I enjoy. And if you don't particularly like that pattern, you're not really going to like the band. You just have to listen for it and hear for yourself. Goat Whore. This is a band that probably might be virtually unknown. This is a band that when they started out, they have one album that I don't like from them, and that's it's called like the Dark Eclipse or something like that. The first album that they ever released was pure black metal, and I got to be honest, I am not a fan of pure black metal unless it's Mayhem, which I like that, but I really don't like a lot of black metal. Um, Unless it's like mixed with other styles, like it's blackened death metal or something like that. Okay, then. But pure black metal is not my thing. Then when the next album, Funeral Dirge, that they released, you could tell that there was a little bit of a different style. And now we've gotten up to where they are now. With their newest album, Constricting Rage of the Merciless. I can't even believe that I've actually managed to memorize those names. But anyway, they took on a new thrash approach where it's like blackened thrash death metal, and it's all the better. This band started sounding amazing with A Haunting Curse. That's when they really started to come into their own, start developing the sound. And then you could tell with every album after that they started to grow and they started to do more. Carving Out the Eyes of God, which, if you're not a fan of metal or death metal, that name's going to shock you. That title of the album is going to shock you, all right? Um, they started developing a thrashier sound, and you could really tell that that they were ready to really just start taking on the new style. And I think Go Whore is just, they're fucking amazing. Their style of riffs, they have memorable riffs. They have a great vocalist. They have a lot of energy. I've seen them live. Especially if you get to see them like in a small venue, which is pretty much what they're going to perform at most of the time, unless it's internationally or one of these ginormous festivals that they hold that I don't get to attend. Yeah, they're really a great fucking band. If you like thrash or death metal, you will really love this band. Toxic Holocaust. I just said this is the last concert I've been to. The one amazing thing about the vocalist for Toxic Holocaust is before the last two albums that they released, this guy was like Brendan Small. He produced the album by himself. The albums by himself. So he was not only the guitarist, the bassist, and the drummer and he mixed the album himself. I think that's fucking incredible. If you could be multi-talented on all those instruments, and not only that, but sound really fucking amazing, you have my total respect. So seeing him live he plays just the bass and does the vocals. So I think this band is great. They have an old school vibe, but yet it doesn't really sound that old. Like you could tell, like they really liked Kill 'Em All by Metallica. They liked that straight ahead thrashy approach. And they just stick with that style. This is a band that has a couple of catchy choruses, some great riffs, but they don't slow down for anything. They go fucking straight ahead, fast riffs, solos, fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. And to me, I don't know, they just sound like they get better with every album. Fallujah. This is a band that I've said to my friends is like the most beautiful death metal band out there. They're a technical death metal band and a fucking amazing one at that. They have atmosphere. They use some electronics in there to try to get this otherworldly feel. I listened to their album, The Flesh Prevails. The Flesh Prevails. Man, that's a tongue twister. I didn't even realize that saying that on the video would be such one. But anyway, you feel like you're in the middle of a desolate plain, like just like a fucking prairie, and it's just, they wanted to give it that effect. If you want a band that's going to give you a lot of atmosphere, you're definitely going to want to check this band out. I think that they are fucking amazing. And it's like a death metal band that doesn't really like overpower you like Cannibal Corpse or, Morbid Angel or Dying Fetus. It's like a very soothing form of death metal. And the fact that you could like even accomplish that really says something about the band. Fear Factory. This is a band that might be one of my favorites of all time. And the fact that I constantly still listen to them, especially with the new album that they had out, Genexus, this is a band that has been around for over fucking 2 decades, and they are still fucking amazing, and they are still putting out great music that's like just as good as like the first time that they put something out. That really says something about them. This is a band that, well, they're very known for one particular style. Now they have a lot of variety, but they usually base themselves around their picking style. And there's a lot of like galloping and triplets for anybody who knows like that technique on the guitar. Basically, it was what I was doing in the beginning of this video, but more artistic than that. And it's like a sound that they are known for that sound. And I don't think there's been people who've tried to sound like them and they cannot replicate it. They have some fucking amazing albums. It's a real shame that they're trying to erase 2 albums from their history, from their discography, Archetype and Transgression. And the fact of the matter is, believe it or not, Archetype is actually one of my favorites. The thing was, their original bassist became their guitarist when their original guitarist left. And then there was disagreements, and then they got the guitarist back, and then the bassist went on his way. A lot of creative differences, a lot of craziness. And I'm actually proud to say that I'm actually friends with the guy on Instagram. And he's actually like commented like on some of my guitar videos that I put on there. So I was pretty proud of that. So yeah, Christian Oberwaters, he's pretty fucking amazing on the guitar. So I think you should really check this band out. They are really fucking good. They're classified as industrial metal, but they do have a lot of variety. They have slow songs, they have fast songs, they have heavy songs. They have songs with shouted vocals, they have melodic vocals, there's clean vocals. See, that's the thing. They have the clean, and then they have the guttural vocals, which is, it's not really that guttural, but you'll see what I mean. Whitechapel. This is a band that receives a lot of hate from death metal fans, and they have to like really realize that death metal and deathcore. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I prefer deathcore. Sometimes death metal just like completely bores the fuck out of me at times with certain bands. Um, so I tend to go with deathcore because they're it's just a good style that I really enjoy. Um, Sometimes it can be technical, sometimes it can be simplistic. Whitechapel just has a really good vocalist, and they have a lot of good riffs, and I like how their vocals are distinguishable to the ear, yet they are growled and guttural, and this is just a band that really sits very, very well with me. They have a new album out, and hey, this is a band that I'm actually going to see in October here in New York, and I'm excited to fucking see them. Whitechapel, I don't know why they get all the hate they do. I really don't see it. I guess it's just, deathcore just gets hate because it's fuses metalcore, which can be an unpopular, um, genre among many traditional metalheads. So I guess the fact that deathcore is a fusion between metal and metalcore, it just gets, hated on, which is a real shame because they're missing out on a great band. And anyway, the same concert that I'm going to see in October is going to also feature Suicide Silence headlining. And that's my next band on this list, Suicide Silence. Am I crazy that I actually enjoy the new vocalist better than the old vocalist? Many people say that I am, but I don't give a shit. The last album that they released, You Can't Stop Me, you people saw that I have the hoodie. I had to get that hoodie. I love You Can't Stop Me. I think that from fucking front to back is just a great fucking album. I mean, you want to know like how to do a deathcore album that's actually a little bit more digestible than other deathcore, like like Thy Art Is Murder or Whitechapel, for instance. Suicide Silence. If you got somebody who's never listened to deathcore before in their life and you want to transition them into it, give them You Can't Stop Me. I actually liked this more toned down version of Suicide Silence. They started doing this with the Black Crown when the original vocalist, the guy's name was Mitch, he passed away sadly. They toned it down a little bit. They kind of stepped back on the vocals, made them a little bit less guttural, a little bit more distinguishable to the ear, and I think it was all for the better. Decapitated. Um, this is a band from Poland that sadly I went to go see Soulfly and Soilwork, and these guys are supposed to do it, and they of course they had some like fucking problems getting into the country or whatever, and it was pretty fucking sad. So I'm sad I didn't get to see them live, but damn, I mean, this is a great fucking band, and it's another hidden gem. This is a band that like it's technical death metal, but they're not a fucking crazy death metal band where it's like just like it's not like in your fucking face. It's it's a little bit more refined. They go for a more like artistic approach without it being too fanciful and just it's a good sound. And I like when they do that. I really like when a band kind of takes a step back and says, okay, well maybe being the absolute heaviest isn't the best idea, but to try to still be heavy but add a bit more refinement to our work. Some people will call it selling out. I say it's a smart move. Jungle Rot. This is a band that kind of fuses death metal with thrash metal, but still sounds a lot different than a band like Goatwhore. And this is like a band that's actually been around for a while. They've been around since the 90s, and I've only found out about them recently, meaning like last year. And I gotta say, guys, this is a fucking band that needs to be listened to. If you like thrash, or you like death metal, or you like both, which is even better, this is a vocalist where he kind of sounds a little bit like Brendan Small's Nathan Explosion of Death Clock, but still manages to sound distinguishable enough. And you just guys, it's a fucking great band. I absolutely fucking adore this fucking band, and I'm mad that like this band has not got more popular with all the years and fucking hard work that they put into their music. This is a fucking band that deserves a lot more credit. I mean, really, like even more than like anybody else on this list. They've been around for so long, and they deserve some fucking notoriety. I gotta say that. Skeleton Witch. So this list is not in any particular order, but that's my 10th item on the list. Skeleton Witch. They're gonna be playing at a bar in Brooklyn, late October, and I will be seeing them. Um, this is a band that I only started listening to this year, I believe. Maybe like late last year. My friend turned me on to them. And my fucking God. I mean, this is melodic death metal, and it's even better than Arch Enemy. And I never thought that I'd say that. I would say that like they own that. Well, Devil Driver to me can be a little bit of melodic death metal at times, but this is more of a traditional melodic death metal sound. And Skeleton Witch, man, I mean, how consistent are they? Sadly, they've got a new singer who's not quite as good. The guitar work is still there, the instrumentation is still there, but I gotta say, it's not as good. The original vocalist, hopefully the guy comes back, but they released a new EP with 4 songs, and it's a good EP, but it just makes me long for the original vocalist. Well, there you go, guys. Just wanted to talk to you guys about metal, and sorry if you guys hear a little bit of a buzzing. That's my phone going off. And I gotta say that I want you to check these bands out. These are phenomenal bands, and if you're looking to get into metal, these are probably not the best idea. But yeah, you should really fucking check these bands out if you're already into metal and you want something good to listen to. Check out one of these 10 bands. All right, motherfuckers, if you want to see more metal videos, let me know down in the comments. All right.